Worrying is not the enemy. Sometimes it's just your brain trying to plan for disaster. But what if you could break worrying into stages and actually manage it instead of letting it manage you? Let me show you how to worry in stages. I've got a mental framework that you can use when your thoughts start spiraling out of control. It doesn't try to eliminate worry, but it helps you contain, understand, and reduce its grip. Welcome to episode 16. Hey, you've just hit play on We Are All Fine, an acronym for flawed, insecure, nervous and emotional. This is the place where we talk about real stuff that no one teaches you, like how to survive your brain on a bad day. This is your podcast where we have conversations that support your emotional well-being from a counselling informed perspective. I'm Heidi and I'm a counsellor and psychotherapist, and today's episode is called How to Worry in Stages. So stay with me and let me teach you that you don't need to actually stop worrying, but that you might just need to learn how to do it differently. Let's learn how to worry, but more productively. I hope you've all had a great week, and I bet, like mine, it featured some element of worry somewhere. Let me start with my definition of worry for you. Worry is a cognitive process in which the mind becomes preoccupied with potential future threats, problems, or uncertainties, often in a futile attempt to predict, prepare for, or control the outcomes. While occasional worry is a normal and adaptive part of human functioning, excessive or persistent worry can really become distressing, unproductive, and linked to anxiety-related conditions. In counselling, worry is often explored with my clients as a mental strategy the brain uses to cope with that perceived risk. And I support my clients by distinguishing between these two types of worry. We've got helpful worry, which is problem solving, planning, organising, sorting through, or we have unhelpful worry. That's the rumination, catastrophising, or those looping thoughts. It's the unhelpful worry that will cause you the most damage. It's worry that is repetitive, future-focused thinking that feels productive in the moment, but rarely ever leads to solutions. Now, this chronic worry, unhelpful worry, will show up in our body in three ways. It will show up in our mind, our behaviour, and in our physical symptoms. So let me quickly talk you through those, because I think this might resonate with some of you. If this happens to your mind and you're over worrying, you'll have racing thoughts, catastrophising thinking, that's assuming the worst will always happen, going to the worst case scenario. You'll be feeling like you can't switch off your brain, and that will bring with it irritability and restlessness. You'll feel on edge, unable to relax, and that means you're going to have trouble concentrating or making those decisions you need to. Lastly, if your mind is consistently worrying, you're going to have some kind of perfectionism playing out here, that you'll be worrying about getting everything right, getting everything spot on, not being able to do anything unless 110% effort's gone into it. Now just think about all the energy that's going to take up. If the unhelpful worry shows up in your mind, that of course is connected to our bodies. So the physical symptoms, you're probably going to be feeling tense muscles, your jaw might feel tight, you'll be clenching your fists, you're going to have a tight chest, you may find your breathing's effective, it might feel a bit shallow, you won't be able to take those big inhales, your tummy area will be discomfort, you'll have nausea, butterflies. If you have IBS of any description, you're going to have flare-ups, you're going to be tired, headaches, migraines, again, that's with the tension. You might find you start to get quite sweaty maybe, shakiness, so you'll be quite fidgeting, and you'll have trouble falling or staying asleep. A good night's sleep isn't going to be something you're going to be familiar with. So if your mind and your body are trying to get your attention, it's going to do so by giving you different behaviours. These behaviours could include some things like avoiding tasks or people because of what might go wrong, because the worry. You'll be over-checking some messages, plans, locks maybe with OCD, decisions you make, not fully relying on yourself or trusting your own judgments. This comes with it seeking constant reassurance from others. You won't be satisfied with what you're thinking or feeling or behaving like, so you will seek reassurance from those around you. Along with the catastrophizing will come the behavioural symptoms. You'll always be playing out the what if scenarios and going through those over and over in your mind. You might even procrastinate. So that'll be avoiding the decisions due to the fear of getting it wrong. And you know as well as I do, the more we procrastinate, the bigger the problem comes. It's like a tunnel. It just gets wider and wider and just pulls us in. And I'm going to think you might be spending a lot more time than you should be doing planning or trying to control every detail. Because things will feel uncertain, your worry is looking for ways to bring in the certainty. It won't do that. It will overthink. It will send these symptoms I've just been talking about to your body, and you'll be stuck in this really vicious worry cycle. Your unhelpful worrying thrives on uncertainty, overthinking, and the need to control. And to gain back the control you have is to use this framework here, which is 4 stages of worry that I call WAVE. Now, I want you to think of your worry like a wave. Now, this acronym, WAVE, stands for witness it, ask about it, validate and breathe, and engage or exit. So there's your wave. It rises, peaks, and passes. You don't have to fight it, you just have to learn how to ride it. Let's start with the W. Let's start with the W of wave, witness it. So notice the worry without the judgment. Give it a name and not the power. So start practicing these types of things and saying them to yourself. This is a worry thought. So you're witnessing it. You're standing outside of it. A really good tip here, you can write it down, say it out loud, and rate its intensity from 1 to 10. Because often we feel that the rush of the worry wave come over us, and we immediately rise to it with anxiety and fear. And often by witnessing it, our first part of our WAVE acronym, we just take that moment, step out of it, look at what's going on, and it might not be as strong as an 8, 9, and a 10. Naming of the worry will create space between you and the thought. This will build awareness instead of panic. Let's go to A. Ask about it. So you can start saying things like, is this helpful for me? Is it true? Gently question the thought. I love doing this. Is it a fact or is it a fear? So you can categorize it. Is this worry fact? More than likely not. Is this fear? More than likely. And then stepping outside of it, remember the W from witness. Can you do anything about it? Can you control or influence the worry? And you will often find you can control it, even if it's unhelpful. This requires of you, people listening to this podcast, it requires some self-belief. And I know some of you may really struggle with that. But this 4-stage process is giving you the awareness to build up your self-belief and do just that. It stops the worry spiral and invites in logic, not just fear. So after W and A comes the V. This is validate and breathe. So it's okay to feel like this. You are safe right now. Soften the shame and calm your nervous system. The goal isn't to fix your worry, it's to find your feet. You can't think clearly if your system is overloaded. That is a neurological fact. So we need to calm first and then decide what we do. We need to validate and breathe. Now, how you calm yourself is entirely up to you. You'll have your own coping strategies. Some useful grounding techniques that I use this regularly, include the 4-7 breathing exercise. I've done this before on a couple of podcasts. So you inhale through the nose to the count of 4. So counting silently or loudly to 4. And then we have a deeper, stronger, longer exhale through our mouth for the count of 7. 4 up, 7 down. This will automatically calm your parasympathetic nervous system, which allows you to validate what's going on, question it, and then we're going to decide what we're going to do, which we'll come to E in a moment. Or I invite you, as I invite my clients, I have bowls of stones, pebbles, crystals, etc. I ask my client to choose one and to take it away with them. This builds the connection between learning to stop and manage the worry, i.e. in these 4 stages, and the brain connection between the item can help you really focus on the sensation. So if you find yourself, you're in a classroom, you're on a bus, you're wherever, and you've got your stone with you or your pebble, and you can feel the wave of worry, you can gently find it in your pocket, in your purse, in your bag. Think about the temperature and focus on it. Think about its texture, its weight, its shape, and just gently then distracting the mind from the vicious worry cycle back into something more grounding, where you've got that element of control about what you do next. And also, when we validate and breathe in the third section of our 4 worry cycle called wave, try saying this to yourself: I can ride the wave. This will remind you of the acronym WAVE and what you need to do to use the stages of worry when you're caught up in that horrible, horrible worry loop. And then finally, E, we engage or we exit. So you ask yourself this: do I act or do I let this go? Some worries need your action. Yes, of course they do. But most just need release. The key is knowing which is which. If it's in your control, take one small action. Now, if not, release it with compassion. Depending on what your worry is, you can choose one of these. You can take a small step. So, for example, you can send the email, press send. You can ask the question. You can send the text message, something along those lines. Or this is a great one. Use a worry window. So schedule yourself 10, 15 minutes, maybe after school, college, uni, whenever, just to come back to that worry, set an alarm on your phone and just sit and think about it. Go through the wave stages, as I'm telling you, but do it in a protected window of time. So you're honouring the worry, but you're not giving it all your energy and space. Or another mantra, you can just practice saying something like this to yourself: look, I've done what I can. The rest isn't mine to carry. By engaging or exiting, you've got yourself choice, you've got yourself control, and you will end the cycle with a sense of choice, not defeat. Thank you for listening today. To quickly recap, we've explored the stages of worry and some practical tools that you can use to manage it. I hope you found this useful with managing your worries. We're never going to stop them. So as I say, this podcast is about accepting our flaws, our insecurities. Yes, we're nervous and we're all anxious. And worry is part of growing up. It's part of being a human being. But remember, it's okay, always okay, to take things one step at a time. If something resonated with you today, try one of the techniques we talked about, see how it feels, and let me know. Now, worry may feel like a wave, but you're learning to surf it. Keep practicing kindness towards yourself, and please know that you're not alone. If you enjoyed this chat, please subscribe and share it with someone who might need it as well. And if you want to keep the conversation going or share your experiences with me, you can find me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Contact me that way, or you can pop over an email, drop me a message, heidiweareallfine@gmail.com. Thank you for everyone who's contacted me this week. Please keep them coming. heidiweareallfine@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. Please come and join me next Monday, where I'll be talking about something we all face at some point: rejection. Whether it's in relationships, jobs, friendships, or other areas of our lives, rejection can sting deeply. Let me share with you that it's also an opportunity to learn, grow, and build resilience. My therapy thought for you this week is taken from my reflections on my week that I've had working with my young clients in my office. A big theme that's been in probably every hour of the day is about liking yourself. So I will leave you with this. Liking yourself isn't about being perfect or having it all figured out. It's about accepting your whole story, your strengths, your struggles, and everything that falls in between. When you like yourself, you treat yourself like your best friend. Patience, kindness, and lots of curiosity. And you'll listen without harsh judgment. You'll celebrate the small wins, and you'll forgive those mistakes. It's okay if liking yourself feels unfamiliar or difficult. This is a practice, not an immediate switch. Each moment you choose to see yourself with compassion, you build a stronger, gentler relationship from inside. Remember, you're worthy of your own kindness exactly as you are right now. We are all flawed, insecure, nervous and emotional, but always remember, be yourself. You are no one else. Until next time, you take good care. Finally, some important takeaways. The podcast is for informational use only and should not be used as a substitution for professional advice or for personal diagnosis. These opinions are personal, and I do not guarantee the accuracy of such opinions or information. I am not intending to create a counselling relationship with you, and you should always consult a qualified mental health professional with any concerns.